First time since the season opener. Hill coming back from a collarbone injury. Andy Reid says he wants to wait and see how the week of practice goes before he decides if Hill will play on Sunday. Speaking of the Chiefs, did you see this during the game against the Lions on Sunday? On this play here, Pactrick Mahomes scrambling for a first down, but he turns and looks back at the referee for a moment. Well, today he explained what was going on there.
I looked back to see if there was a penalty, and I saw that I had the room to run, and I could probably get the first down, but I didn't want to run like 50 yards if I was going to get called back and have to run another play. So I kind of just looked back to see if there was a penalty, realized there wasn't one, so I just kind of took off.
Crazy next-level field awareness by Mahomes. In Jacksonville, Jalen Ramsey did not practice today. The team says it's the same back injury that caused him to miss Sunday's game against the Broncos. Ramsey has missed more than a week of practices for various reasons. He requested a trade a little over 2 weeks ago. And some injury news and notes here. The Patriots are looking for a new kicker. Steven Gostkowski has a hip injury. He was put on IR. Pats are trying out some different kickers. John Ross has been placed on IR with a shoulder injury. Josh Gordon, a knee, is limited in practice today.
According to the Packers, he's got a turf toe injury. Brian Bulaga was out there at practice. That's big for Aaron Rodgers, who didn't have him for a good portion of last week's game against the Eagles and is preparing to face a pretty good pass rush this week in Dallas.
He's just a great football player. He's among the best quarterbacks I've ever played in this league, and he's been playing at an incredibly high level really throughout his career. And we've had some great battles against him, a number of games that came right down to the wire, and he's certainly made a big impact on the game. So hold him in the highest regard. I've been around him at Pro Bowls before, and just he's a real pro. He wants to play the game at a high level. He's been a great leader for that franchise and a great player for a long time.
I think we're a different offense right now as opposed to week one. But again, you still got to go out there and do it. You can't talk about it. You got to be about it. And so, and then when you're doing it against such a quality opponent like that, the Cowboys' defense is pretty legitimate. I think you look at their numbers; they're in the top in all the categories. So we're going to have our hands full for sure.
They're two of the best teams in the NFC. Packers, Cowboys, both 3-1, both coming off losses. Aaron Rodgers has never lost at AT&T Stadium, where I think you have some good memories as well, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
A little Super Bowl win there. What's it going to take for your Packers to win this one in Dallas? Give me a matchup to watch.
First and foremost, Devontae might not play, but he cannot help stop the run. They have to come into this building and stop Ezekiel Elliott. If they don't, it's going to be a very long day for the Green Bay Packers and this defense. If you watch these runs from last week when they played on Thursday night, these holes, they still have their flags on. They are not touched until they are 5-10 yards down the field.
I thought it was a towel.
You better believe if Zeke sees these holes, it's going to be a long day for the Packers and this defense. They have to get this figured out and stop the run. And if they can stop the run and force Dak to throw the football, our secondary is a strong part of our team. Let them run around, let them guard them guys, and let them get their hands on some balls. But it starts up front with the front seven. You have to stop Zeke. If you let this happen, what Jordan Howard did to them last week, it's going to be a long day, and it's going to be a big day for the Cowboys. So we have to figure out a way to stop him if they want to win this game.
No Tyron Smith this week on the Cowboys O-line. They didn't have La'el Collins at practice either. They did have Michael Gallup, so he might return. What do you have your eye on here?
Yeah, certainly up front. I mean, I agree with James. The Dallas Cowboys, their ability to run the football is what sets the table for everything offensively. Yes. And the fact that Zeke Elliott was held to 35 yards rushing in that game, that changed everything. Now third down is harder, puts more pressure on Dak. So for this Cowboys offensive line, if you don't have Tyron Smith now, Cam Fleming coming in, the guy that everybody has to find when they break the huddle is Zadarius Smith. And this guy right here, he's been, he has wrecked games. Look at him against the right tackle right here, just pushing the pocket, collapsing. He's got 15 pressures this season. Now he flipped him over to the other side, so he's bi-coastal. But here he is against the left tackle, Garrett Bowles, creating a sack, almost getting a fumble out. You could even move him inside. Here he is over the left guard. So Zadarius Smith, he could do it all, and Mike Penn's going to find a way to move him around. Connor Williams has struggled whenever it's been a defensive end, a quick jump around guy that moves down. And you mentioned La'el Collins on the other side. La'el Collins has been phenomenal this season, but that will be a great matchup to see him against Zadarius Smith. And I think, obviously, for them, for Green Bay. They want to slow that run game down, so they have a chance to get after Dak, because Dak will hold on to that ball.
Absolutely.
Dak pressured on 35% of his dropbacks last week, had a passer rating of 35 on those plays. This game, one of just